Hey guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for liking and subscribing. If you are not, go ahead and hit that button. If you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this reality chat. So, Real Housewives of Atlanta, we've discussed the possible shakeup, the possibility of them letting everyone go, starting afresh and anew. And even before that announcement was made, I said, and I did a conversation discussing this, saying that I felt like they need to either start fresh with a new cast like they did with the Real Housewives of New York and do a reboot, or just let it go. Like, let it be off for a couple of seasons, maybe a year and a half, like they did with the Real Housewives of New York, and come back strong. Stop trying to rush to find people, because the rumors have been out there that they'll never be able to replace everyone, and it's different in Atlanta than it is in New York. Why? Because New York, in my personal opinion, I feel that if they were able to do it with New York, no, they didn't do it overnight or quickly, but they shouldn't. But if they were able to do that with New York, why wouldn't they be able to do that with Atlanta? Because as much as people like to be seen and showcasing themselves and their lifestyles down in Atlanta, I really don't believe that rumor that it's impossible to do in Atlanta. Because New York, it's way more expensive cost of living up there. And if they could find people up there that would be willing to show their lives on television, you mean to tell me they wouldn't be able to do that in Atlanta? I highly doubt it. No, not everyone's going to want to do it, but of course not. Not everyone wants to be a television personality. That is true. But if they, again, were able to do that in New York, I don't see why they would not be able to do that in Atlanta. I do believe that it is possible. I believe that the majority of the people that say that are those that don't want to be replaced. And speaking of that, Kandi had something to say about it. So let's listen to what she had to say.
Do whatever you need to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like, I've been out here 14 seasons, right? So I've seen, different castmates come and go. Some I was sad to see go. Some I've seen go and come back. And I know people constantly need to see change to feel like they're getting something, you know what I mean? So if they feel like they need to make changes, then find a cast that you think is going to work. You think they're going to find a whole cast of people that's going to work and satisfy our fans? Probably not.
Let's play that again.
Do whatever you need to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like, I've been out here 14 seasons, right? So I've seen, different castmates come and go. Some I was sad to see go. Some I've seen go and come back. And I know people constantly need to see change to feel like they're getting something, you know what I mean? So if they feel like they need to make changes, then find a cast that you think is going to work. Yeah. Do I think they're going to find a whole cast of people that's going to work and satisfy our fans? Probably not.
Now listen, I don't know if you're like me, but to me that sounds like, how do I put this? To me, and this is not someone trying to hate on Kandi, and I don't even know why I need to give a disclaimer. I'm just saying what I'm saying. It's weird that sometimes people feel like if you're saying something that is not praising someone, then you're hating the person. And I'm just giving my opinion of the situation at hand. Okay? But listen, to me, that sounds like someone, because she was sharing her thoughts on them replacing the entire RHOA cast. That sounds like someone who is not wanting to lose her job, but also wanting to sound like she doesn't need it if she loses it. And in my personal opinion, I believe that she does. I've said this a number of times before. And let's just be honest. Yes, Kandi is a songwriter. She is a Grammy award-winning songwriter. We know this. But how was Kandi living prior to the Real Housewives of Atlanta? No, she wasn't broke. But she definitely has upgraded and has been able to do so many other things because of the Real Housewives of Atlanta checks that she has been receiving. Okay? Being an employee has allowed her to become an entrepreneur. Period. The umbrella of the businesses that she has sprung from the base of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. From the Real Housewives of Atlanta, it has given her more exposure to do the restaurants and the plays and all of the other things that she was doing. Yeah, she had the Candy Coated Nights podcast where she was talking about sex, still talking about sex. I'm not interested, but I'm just saying. How much was she making from that? Was she able to open restaurants and things like that based off of Candy Coated Nights podcast? No. Did she buy the type of house that she has prior to the Real Housewives of Atlanta? No. Not saying the house that she had before was bad, but let's just be honest. So why can't they do a major cash shakeup? I'm not even saying that that's actually indeed going to happen. I would be okay with it if it does. I'm not saying that I want her to miss her check or lose her money, because she does employ a lot of people. She's got 2 YouTube channels. She's got producers, camera people. Like, she's not just holding her phone and doing these videos like a lot of us do, right? So she's paying people, and I commend her for that. She's giving people employment opportunities, and that is definitely commendable. But the Real Housewives of Atlanta, who said that that was going to last forever? People need to really chill out and calm down when it comes to this show, because who said that this was going to last forever? If it only lasted 5 seasons and it was done, would people be out here going crazy saying they never should have canceled that show? None of these television shows last forever. Damn, Greenleaf only got 4 seasons, and I was pissed about that. I still watch that on Netflix, okay? That was a good show. But even the great things that are on television come to an end, and the Real Housewives of Atlanta is mediocre at best. Let's just be honest about that. I want to read a comment that I saw on this post. This post is actually on OMFG Reality TV on Instagram. A lot of people gave their thoughts, and a lot of people were saying, people just hate Kandi. Why do you want to see her go or whatever? Anyway, and some people agreed that she needs to bounce. But I want to read this comment that I definitely agreed with, and I just thought it was interesting. So someone says, LOL, riddle me this. The only person still on the show from the past is Kandi and Kenya. And if we're going to be honest, maybe we don't even include Kenya in that. And this is, I'm adding this part. This wasn't in the comment. But Kandi was on since season 2. Kenya came on several seasons later. So she wasn't even from the beginning. So I wouldn't even say from the past. But anyway, the person says, continues, I don't even count Sheree because she was never really there to begin with. I agree with that. Anyway, everyone else is new. So hasn't the cast already been shook up at Bravo, Andy? Like, am I missing something? The only way it can be a full shakeup is to get rid of those 2. Kandi had never been a showstopper. She's been consistently coming to work because, honestly, she needed it. I will give her credit. She has used it to elevate her brand because prior to RHOA, nobody was checking for her or Kenya. That's not shade. It's just the truth, man. So calm down with the ads. The show just needs to go away. Here's why. The show was popular due to the ensemble core cast. Nene, Phaedra, Portia, Kenya. Yes, Kandi was okay, but not a core figure. Y'all took off all of the stars, therefore there is no show. So y'all really think you can create that magic has been celebrities. Kenya was good because she had great sparring partners, but now she has no one to go toe-to-toe with. It's not that hard to figure out. And I agree with a lot of the things that this person said, but I mainly agree with the person saying it just needs to go away. And if it's not going to go away, then they really need to do like they did with Rhony, which was replace the entire cast. When they started, this is something I have consistently said. When they started with RHOA, nobody knew who any of these people were. Kandi came on the second season, and that surprised me because it was like, this is someone that is not unknown. No, she wasn't an A-list celebrity, but I was really surprised by that. It was interesting. Of course, I watched it, but RHOA came on and nobody knew a Nene, a Kim, a Sheree, Deshaun Snow, or a Lisa Wu Hartwell at the time, but no longer Hartwell. Nobody knew any of these people, and that's why, one of the reasons why it was interesting, because it was introducing us to people that we did not know, who were allegedly, supposedly living these lavish lifestyles, which we knew for the most part, a lot of it really wasn't. Kim was living off of Big Daddy's dime. Nene and her husband, they were renting someone's house and they got evicted from that. Lisa Wu was married to her husband Ed at the time. He was making a decent check, but like Deshaun told her, who was married to her then husband who divorced her, the NBA person, that NFL money is kind of funny. Okay. So even though they were living pretty well, it was kind of check to check. And you already know about Sheree. I'm not even going into her. But anyway, so it was interesting because we didn't know about these people, and it wasn't that exciting either. There were a few moments, but in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't really like, oh my God, type of situations. Sheree left Nene's name off of her list for the party. Big freaking whoop. Yeah, Nene, she did her thing about that, but that wasn't that major. Deshaun, she held the fundraising whatever auction at her house, and she was hoping to raise $1 million, and I don't even think she raised 50,000. But it was interesting, but it wasn't just so exciting. And now I feel like people have gotten to the point, because they've seen some fireworks over the years where people are like, oh, this person ain't bringing anything. A lot of these people never really brought much, if we're really honest about it. So that's why I feel that it's run its course. It really has. All of these people on the show has run its course. And even though I'm not a big fan of Sanya, she's married. She actually has, even though it's not that interesting, it's her life. She's an Olympic gold medalist. She's married. She is having another baby. This is her second season on the show. Drew, I don't know why people, like to say, oh, she's just a liar. The things that she's so-called lied about, who really cares? If she didn't want to admit to kissing a girl, like, it's not like she's a Sheree type of liar. You know what I mean? She's the one that needed to carry that label. Phaedra type of liar. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. Don't do that to that girl. But I'm saying Kandi definitely can go at this point. Kenya can definitely go at this point. She's been getting divorced longer than she's been married. And I mean, she's still married technically, but it's just not interesting. And that's not me disliking them. I'm just saying, cycle in and cycle out. And so Kandi does need this show. Like the person said, I've said that before, so it's just confirmation for me. Not even so much confirmation, but someone that is agreeing with my opinion that, yeah, she does need this show. If those checks go, no, she's not going to be broke, but she's definitely going to have to do some things differently. That show is what funnels a lot of what she has going on entrepreneurial wise, period. It's what helps Todd to do all of the things he's doing. Restaurants don't make that much money. The majority of the money that a lot of these restaurants make is off of the liquor, off of the bar. You know, it's extremely high overhead. Business, period. Running brick and mortar businesses, paying rent. Trust and believe. I've had multiple locations for my business. Rent, it ain't cheap. And then you add the expense of all of the food and the employees and taxes and all of those things that you have to handle. Are you really making out like that? No, not at all. So anyway, guys, I thought it was interesting that she spoke about it because she was asked about it. And I don't agree with her. But you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section respectfully. Thank you guys so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.